What's going on, Disc Nation? This is Ken here to give you a tour of Livermore, where we all live for more disc golf. So Livermore is a lovely little 9-hole course that actually has multiple tees that can get you to 18, which we'll look at today. But first things first, some stats on me and my wife. You'll see a couple of shots of us in this one, but not as many as some of the other videos because the wind started kicking our butts about halfway through. As for where Livermore is, it's kind of in the Central Bay area, if you will, sort of to the east there. You're going to take 680 to 580 to get there. Then you'll head in past Livermore proper, and then you're going to come in on this road down at the bottom here, and you'll head up the road here in just a second to the parking lot, and right about there is number one. And as you can see, the course wraps around a pretty good size area of this area between the park and the school. Here's a look at the map, and we'll start right where that arrow finished over to one short. You're going to see, as I mentioned, 2 different tees, and they're pretty dramatically different in a lot of places. But this first one, they all have 2 baskets. So this one's kind of right over the top of the trees. Then you'll head over to the left here. And this one you need to come kind of left to right and try really hard not to put it on that baseball field because the gate will likely be locked. So you have to climb, which I've seen several people do. So here's me kind of showing you the way up over the top here. Just a touch left where I want it to be, but a decent shot to get going. And then you'll head right down the middle of these trees here. Then wrap around to the right here, and you'll see where I landed. And there's the 2 positions right there. And then you'll hang a left, take a little jaunt through the woods here to 2 short. And again, 2 baskets. It's kind of the theme for all these. This one, I'm showing you the route kind of laced through the tunnel. You could go left and flirt with the baseball field if you want. I don't. But then we'll head over to 2 long, which as you can see is quite a bit of a jaunt, so be careful when you come out here that you don't get hit with anybody throwing in, but you're throwing a big swooping right to left shot for 2 long. Back over to 2 short. There's our first position there, and then the second one is kind of down in the valley here, right around the corner. Then you head straight ahead up the hill, trace the hill over to 3 short. Once again, 2 basket positions. That will not change. This is a nice little ace run if it's in the first position. Otherwise a soft kind of right to left if it's in the other one, unless you're in 3 long. And then you can go down the right side for the one and the left side for the other one. You could probably do either one for either one. There's my wife kind of showing us the way here. Just a touch right, kind of trickled into the ravine, and I was like, hey, that looks nice. Let me throw it in the same spot. So we're both a little too far to the right for this basket, but this is a fun little ace run shot. And we'll swing left and get a look at the position there in the trees, and then straight ahead for your ace run. And just a little walk over to 4 short. Again, 2 positions, as I mentioned. One's right in the open, and one's kind of tucked into the trees in the back there. Recommend you stay right. And then we head over to 4 long. Just a touch longer. Gives you a little bit more room, actually, to throw at at both positions, really, and try to avoid these trees on the left. As I mentioned, the wind can get hustling through here, and it did start to hustle on us towards the end of the day, so that's one of the obstacles when you get out here. So my wife banging a putt. There's the other position there tucked in the trees. And then we'll hang a right, follow the road, down to 5 short. Now this one's a little tricky because this close position has a white circle around it now, which looks suspiciously like an island green. So I'm sure we'll hear about that in the comments. It wasn't there before, and now it is. Now we're over here at 5 long. Same thing. There's like 9 ways you could throw these shots. Take your pick. I'm just showing you a couple of them. There's my wife, throwing a nice little shot before this pesky log gets in the way. And again, this is the island position if I'm reading these lines on the ground correctly. And I actually snuck it through there. If you're playing for this one, play it as you will. If you want to play it for an island, go for it. If not, no worries. There's the one in the back there, as you can see, quite a bit farther. And then you're going to take a jaunt down the road a little bit to 6 short. Again, 2 basket positions. One's up on the hill there, and one's kind of tucked just out of sight on the left. And then 6 long, as you can see, brings this big fluffy tree in the way. So now you're throwing left to right to both of those positions. There used to be water in this ravine on the left, so this used to be a pretty legit hazard back in the day. I'm sure they probably play it as out of bounds in tournaments. There's my wife throwing a lovely little upshot. But we haven't seen water in a while. Believe it or not, this whole thing flooded at one time and took out a couple of the holes back in the day. But the course crew did a good job cleaning it up. There's that basket position on the left, and then here's the elevated one on the right. And then after you're done here, follow the trail to the left. This is a healthy little walk, but it's a nice walk. Over to 7 short. 2 positions again. Again, you still have that ravine on the left. It is marked over here now, so it looks suspiciously like OB. But there's 1 position right behind that tree, which we'll see here in a second over on 7 long, which is up on this hill, so it gives you a little better vantage point on it. But again, the wind is kind of one of the main things in this area. But there is this ravine on the left, which, like I said, is marked off over here, so it's probably OB now. I'm sure someone will tell us. It's also a steep drop-off, so even if it's not OB, it's not an easy shot getting out of there. So there's our first position there, and then the second one just to the left. And then you'll hang a right over to 8 short. There's 1 position kind of tucked into the trees on the left, and then there's 1 way out there, and it is over another ravine, also marked off right now, also suspiciously looking like OB. Over here is 8 long to the right. It brings this big tree in the way. But again, there is a ravine out here, which we'll come to in a minute. And like I said, it is marked off now with some white markings. So I'm guessing that that is going to be OB. Maybe it's just for the tournaments. There's our first shot there. And here's our ravine. And on the other side is the basket. When you're done here, you're going to kind of go back the way you came, but over towards the fence. Watch for people throwing, of course. And we'll come to 9 short first. And 9 short has pretty dramatic distance differences between the 2 baskets. One's kind of tucked into the hillside, one's way in the back. And back from this position, 9 long, I gotta think the one in the back is a par 4, because that's like 470, I think. Somewhere, it's a long ways. So, I gotta think we'll probably play as a par 4 and for normal folk, not during a tournament, of course. But anyway, you've got paths. You can go left to right. There's the first position tucked up on the hill. And then, as I said, the back one is quite a bit farther back in here. But what's nice is you can fire at it because you have a backside to throw into. And that's it. When you're done, you can hang left to go back to the parking lot or go right. This is the more scenic route, but of course, be careful when you're crossing through here. Make sure you watch for people throwing, especially on 2, it's kind of blind, you can't see them. But yeah, when you're done, you can head back to everyone's favorite thing to do after the parking lot, the restroom, right there on the right. And that's Livermore, folks. They've done a good job keeping this course up to date, particularly after the flood. So good job to the course crew. I recommend you come check it out. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there.